Hello, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be going over the new patch notes for Helldivers 2. Again, this patch notes just came out 7 minutes ago and I just, checked it out. But we're going to go over it together. I know I haven't been making a video in like a week or so, but that's because mainly because I've been updating my PC and upgrading pieces, and now I'm fixing everything back up again so that I can actually do some editing again. The next video will most likely come out this week. I will also leave the patch notes down below in the comments for those who want to read it on their own, just so you guys know. So this patch includes balance changes to missions, stratagems, weapons, enemies, and Helldivers, as well as general fixes for gameplay. They've added new planetary hazard additions, so blizzards and sandstorms, which will be interesting to see how they will work. What they've also done is they have changed and balanced two modes, two mission operations. Retrieve essential personnel and destroy command bunkers. They made it so that enemies spawn further away from the objective to give players a fairer chance of defending the location, as well as reduce the amount of civilians required on higher missions. This personally I think is very good, since in a lot of these missions you would actually very much struggle with trying to deal with all of the people just running you down, and it was just such a hard mission to get a grip on, because most of these missions are mainly about momentum, and you would lose momentum so quickly because of the amount of enemies and how close they spawn to you. Now we're on to the command bunkers. This mission, personally, I don't really like it a lot because it's just a bit annoying to do, but they've added more objective locations because they thought the mission was way too easy compared to the other missions. And they've now made it so it appears from operation difficulty 5 and above. I don't really mind that, but my main issue is just how hard it is to, blow up the command bunker. Then we have weapon changes for both primary, secondary, and support weapons. The arc thrower got a slight nerf, but some buffs here and there as well. They fixed the charging inconsistencies, and it will now only take 1 second to charge the shot. And the arc thrower's range was reduced by a whole whopping 25 meters, from 50 to 35. They also increased the stagger force of the arc thrower, making it easier and way better to stagger enemies with. And guard dog now restores full ammo from supply boxes. The anti-material rifle had its damage increased by 30%, which is insane. Personally, I thought the anti-material rifle was stupid. It was really good, and they didn't really need to buff this at all, but they did, and I don't mind it. It's pretty good. Incendiary breaker had its damage per bullet increased from 15 per bullet to 20 per bullet, and its fire damage now has more damage per tick by 50% from all sources, meaning that the flamethrower may be even better than before. The Dominator had its damage increased from 200 to 300 and now has increased stagger, which very much is pretty good. The Dominator was already a very strong weapon, but this just makes it way stronger, and personally I'm probably gonna use it even more than I do right now. The Diligence Counter Sniper had its armor penetration change from light to medium, which this is a change I've been wanting for them to do for the longest time. The Diligence is just a way better weapon than the Counter Sniper alternative, and this was just gonna make it so much better. Then we come to the sad part. The Slugger now has reduced stagger. Now the Slugger does reduced damage by 30 from 280 to 250 and has reduced demolition force. I hope that this won't kill it, but I really like the Slugger, and I really hope that this doesn't kill the weapon at all, because I love the weapon. I use it all the time versus automatons. And then they also have fixed the armor penetration tag in the menu, so now it should show medium instead of light. The Slugger, the Liberator, Concussive, and the Senator has incorrect armor penetration tags in the menu, so that's been fixed for all of them. The Recoilless Rifle got a buff, same as the Spear, where you get increased rockets every time you use supply boxes. The Recoilless Rifle increased from 2 to 3, and the Spear increased from 1 to 2. And the Heavy Machine Gun's highest fire rate mode reduced from 120 RPM to a moderate 950. This is actually a pretty decent change. I don't really mind it, because the Heavy Machine Gun on its own was already ridiculously hard to control, and 120 RPM was a bit too much, on top of it having not really a lot of ammo. So a 950 RPM will be way nicer, I think, personally. For stratagems, The Patriot Exosuit rockets will now penetrate armor only on direct hit, so that splash damage essentially can break armor and stuff. Which I don't know. It's not really a bad change, to be honest. Like it won't really matter, to be honest, because Bile Titans and whatnot, the Chargers, and every enemy you aimed at with a Patriot Exosuit, you always shot them directly. So I don't know. It's not really a change at all, to be honest. For balancing adjustments for enemies, Charger's normal melee attack now does less damage against exosuits, which is very good because exosuits versus Chargers was such a losing matchup sometimes, where the Chargers doing the basic melee attack, you just blow up instantly and die. Bang, there goes one of your reinforced, and now you have to wait like, what, 12 minutes for the next exosuits. While spewers and nursing spewers do less damage with their puke. Pretty good change, honestly. Because well, the bile spewers and nursing spewers just did so much damage when they puked at you. Holy, you could be heavy armor and just blow up instantly. Like it was insane. The Bile Titan can no longer be stunned. I don't know what I think about this personally. I hope it's not too bad. We'll see how it is. Personally, I feel like the Bile Titan should be able to be stunned. If not, at least be staggered. You know, if you shoot a rocket onto them, they kind of like move their head to the sides and then they roar and whatnot. Maybe that. If they mean with the stun that, you know, they just completely stand still and don't do that little animation or whatnot, then we'll see. Shriekers can no longer create bug breaches, and Shriekers hitting you while they're dead now does significantly less damage. So Shriekers are the new flying enemies. They can no longer create bug breaches. I don't know. I've never experienced this happen before. And Shriekers hitting you while they're dead now does significantly less damage. Will be very nice, because I don't know if anyone has seen the clips before or if anyone has experienced it before, but Shriekers can one-hit you when they're dying. If they're charging towards you and you kill it, if you don't jump out of the way, you will die. Guaranteed. It does so much damage to the point where it can one-hit kill Bile Titans if they land on top of them. And I've had this happen before, and I've seen multiple clips on this happen on the internet before, and holy shit, it's insane. 4 changes to Helldivers. Heavy and medium armor protects you way better now. Heavy armor reducing the damage you take by 10%, and the medium armor reducing you by 5%. Whilst, you know, fortified commando and light armor is completely unchanged. This is very good personally. I personally use medium armor for my armor because I don't know, I like the armor I use. I think it's really cool, and it resembles my character from Destiny. Yes, I am a Destiny player. Well, I was a Destiny player, and the armor that I use for all of my videos and stuff, it's the armor it's an armor that looks very similar to the armor I used in Destiny. But this is very good changes overall. I think this is really nice. Then we have some small fixes here. I'll just quickly go over them. They fixed an issue where save settings for PS5 would be reset when the game is rebooted, causing things such as loadouts and hint settings to reset. Enemies now properly target exosuits. Previously, many enemies effectively ignored exosuits if a Helldiver on foot was available for them to target. Fixed exosuits being able to fire their weapons while opening the minimap. This change is life-saving. I have killed so many of my friends accidentally because opening a minimap and then trying to move the cursor around. I hope this fixes that. The Helldiver and the Exosuit both had a bug that made them sometimes take explosion damage multiple times, making things like automaton rockets be too deadly. This is now fixed. I mean, this is a very good change, personally. I hope this kind of fixes the Devastator rockets. I don't know if it will, but sometimes getting one hit killed by a Devastator from nowhere, even though, you know, you have a lot of armor, you have your stim going and whatnot, it's a bit annoying. Same thing with exosuits. Exosuits in bot missions are very annoying to use because you would just poof, gone, dead. No more exosuit. And I've been spawn killed a lot of times by Devastators and while using an exosuit when I just drop it down and they just blow it up instantly. The automaton enemy constellations that prefer to spawn more of certain Devastator types did not work and are now functioning as they should. This means that sometimes when playing against the automatons, you will face more Devastators instead of other enemy types. We have improved the system that prevents hellpod steering close to larger important objects. This is a very good change. Hopefully this fixes, you know, all the issues where you're trying to drop onto something and your character's just steering the opposite direction and you basically die because you can't really control where you go. We have solved an issue where the effective area around objects was a lot larger than intended. We have reduced the number of objects that prevent hellpod steering, and as a note, This system is intended to prevent soft blocks where players can drop unimportant interaction points or drop into unintended places. We will continue to monitor the state of the system after the updates to see if additional tweaks are necessary. Fix cases where the ground under some assets would be bombed, causing them to float. Ballistic shield changes as well, on top of that. The collision mesh has been slightly increased in size for more forgiveness. They changed the shield pose so that Helldivers are less exposed when using the shield. And they addressed a bug where part of the Helldiver would become vulnerable while using the shield in first person. Then there are some known issues. One issue being a crash when you throw a snowball or throwing a grenade back towards enemies. I will give you a warning here. Do not throw or pick up a snowball, and especially do not throw it at somebody, because you will maybe crash you or your teammate's game and you will lose progress. I've had this happen to me once, and I am telling you this now so you don't lose all of your gear. And then there's some various issues involving friend invites and crossplay, which are right here if you guys want to pause and read. Then the explosive weapon stats include only direct hit damage but not explosive splash damage. Explosions do not break your limbs. Planetary liberation reaches 100% at the end of every defense mission. Drowning in deep water without vitality booster equipped puts Helldivers in a broken state. I've had this happen before. Stratagem beam might attach itself to an enemy but will deploy to its original location, and some player customizations like title or body type may reset after restarting the game. These are known issues and will most likely be resolved in a couple of days or weeks. We reached the end of the patch notes. This is a pretty big patch and I like a lot of the stuff that have been put out here. Some things, I don't know why they did changes, like the anti-material buffs, the slugger nerfs. I hope the slugger nerfs isn't too bad. I'm probably gonna test them out once this video goes live. I'm also going to be testing out the new charger damages and the exosuit rockets and, you know, armor values maybe. I'm not gonna make a video about it, but I'll report to you guys if you guys want, and let me know in the comments what you guys think about this patch notes. And if you're new, please consider subscribing and liking the video, as it will help us reach the goal for this year's goal of 500 subscribers. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys. Peace.